Hey team, I am sharing some advice that I've been given with you today about setting up your mindset and developing habits. Um, sort of getting those frameworks in place as like an underlying foundation to what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Because it's not enough to just come in and train and do the work. We have to be able to see and acknowledge what we're doing, to be able to recognize the effect that it's having. So, setting up our mindset and setting up our habits is thereby improving our fitness. But it's hard to see change from the inside. So we need to learn to be able to view what we're doing objectively, which means in a lot of cases tracking numbers. It's why I'm so keen on us making a note of the weights that we lift or the speeds that we do and things like that, and why we have workouts that are repeatable, why we occasionally kind of set benchmarks and come back to them and see if a few weeks down the line we've been able to improve on those things. Because when we track those numbers, we can identify what's working. And the impact that has on your mindset is that you are able to look at the progress that you're making. Because there's something called gap thinking and gain thinking. Gap thinking is when you are looking at the kind of outcome that you want. And when you're always looking at the outcome that you want, you can always see this gap between where you are and what you want. And that gap is always there. And that can make you feel defeated quite a lot of the time. Whereas gain thinking is being able to look at now versus where you used to be and see how far you've come. And that is very motivating. So this comes down to, yes, tracking and things like that, but it also is massively improved and affected by writing down your wins, because if you can identify your wins, you can keep doing them. So if you were to think back over the week and have a review of your wins, I would like your job now is to find 3 to 5 things that went right over the last week for you. And what I want you to do is post them into our group chat. So it doesn't matter if they're big things, small things. It doesn't matter if they're the same things as somebody else. It doesn't matter. I just want you to make sure that you identify 3 to 5 things that went right over the last week and write them down and put them in the group chat. And then I want you to take this even further. I want you to pledge to yourself to do this on like a weekly basis. The way I do this is I have notes on my phone that are pinned to the top of my notes, so they're always there. And I actually have a couple of these going for slightly different things. But one of them is things that have gone right. So over the last week, in fact, I do this more regularly than that. I try and identify when I've spotted things that have gone right or things that I've done well, and I'll write them into those notes. That reinforces my mindset so that I know that I am making progress, doing the things that I find valuable, and going in the right direction. And that keeps me almost intrinsically motivated without me having to even think about motivation. It's something that I just do. But it's really important for you to take the time to find those wins, to keep your mindset and your habits and your momentum in training, but in everything as well. And this, for me, and I think for a lot of people, will be a big game changer for your psychological fitness.